Ah, Godzilla Unleashed. We here at Pac-Mania are in love with this kaiju fighting game for the Wii and PlayStation 2, if you haven't noticed yet. Though what is it about the game that we love so much? Is it the graphics, gameplay, presentation, or the fact that it stars the true king of the monsters? Well, it's probably that. But one reason we also love this game are the fatalities. Yeah, I know, technically they aren't called fatalities, but look at these moves. Tell me you wouldn't want to use these against your enemies to finish them off. They're perfect. This is why today we are picking the top 10 Godzilla Unleashed fatalities. Now we are grading and ranking these off of several things: their creativity, pain, or just overall awesomeness. This is our first top 10 list on Pac-Mania, so if there are some fatalities here you love that didn't make it on the list, remember, it's just my opinion. I am Pac-Man5698 for Pac-Mania's top 10 Godzilla Unleashed fatalities.
Number 10.
You know, I've heard a lot of people say Obsidian and Crystal Action have been in the game, but I don't mind. They're both unique, have great designs, and one has a great fatality. So, what does this gigantic, lava-filled, angry Obsidian do to take his enemies down? Well, how about this? Grab your soon-to-be dead foe with an iron grip and roar right into his face. Then he slams you into the ground and in your monster gonads. Pretty painful, and at the same time a great way to show your infidels who is boss.
Number 9.
What's better than having a giant monster kill his enemies with a roar? Well, how about 3 heads roaring? King Ghidorah is probably Godzilla's greatest villain. He's been seen in more installments than any other villain, he's the ultra mega boss at the end of Final Wars, and of course, in Godzilla Unleashed, he kills his foes by pinning them to the ground with just 1 foot, and uses all 3 heads to screech his opponent to death. This is more than a in-your-face move, this is a top Predator fatality. Imagine staring into those eyes and gaping jaws as these terrifying cries of terror end your life. Yeah, nobody is gonna mess with this guy again.
Number 8.
Mothra is just the most graceful, beautiful, charming can of whoop-asses, isn't she? What's better than using your powers of unity, nature, and peace by smiting your monsters with rainbows, love gas, and butt crystals? Yeah, I know one thing that's better, and it makes for number 8 on this list. Mothra's Twirl Spin. There's nothing like lifting your victim 1,000 feet in the air, dropping them into the ground, probably breaking their spine, and pummeling their stomach by twirling into them as you drop them. This has got to hurt. Not to mention those legs are pretty short and not that strong, so how does she do this? Maybe the cosmos were helping her.
Number 7.
Porvoron, one of the most underrated monsters ever made. Our favorite spiky, gliding iguana really deserves more credit. I mean, just getting 1 official movie and a 3-second cameo in Destroy All Monsters? Really? That's all he gets? On the brighter side, it seems Voron's fatality has made the number 7 spot on this countdown. That is his wheelie. Ouch! Imagine how this experience must go. You get all 5 razor-sharp claws jabbed in both sides of your body, bashed to the ground, and then you have all these long, hard spikes twirled into your stomach like a slower, more painful buzzsaw. It must be hell waiting for shock and blood loss to end this fatality. All thanks to our favorite flying reptile. What a doll.
Number 6.
If having all of those spikes cutting through your stomach doesn't sound bad, how about an entire back of spikes all impaled through your body? That is the special of our big Armadillo Anguirus here. When he's not screaming his way to victory or hanging out with Godzilla, he is delivering the 6th best Godzilla Unleashed fatality. As said before, Anguirus takes his fallen enemy on his back with all of those spikes, impaling the poor thing in so many ways, and if that wasn't enough, tosses the monster into the air. Then Anguirus does it again, using a spin attack to grind the spikes back into the body and then let it fall to the cold ground where it will take forever to bleed to death. I understand Anguirus likes to fight dirty, but this is awesome.
Number 5.
Sometimes the simplest fatality is the best. We are all loyal to the King of the Monsters here on Pac-Mania, so how could we not put this one on the list? As we have seen, Godzilla can take down any monster who would dare oppose his might. So, it would make sense that the King of the Monsters would have a great fatality. Here it is. Granted, this isn't the most painful fatality, but it is certainly intimidating. I mean, what's more intimidating than picking your enemy up over your head and throwing them to the other side of town? Just the power and intensity portrayed in this macho throw. Yeah. Godzilla 2000 does it like a boss. And I use that joke again. Oh dear. Ugh.
Number 4.
To this day, I have not decided what my favorite Mechagodzilla is, but I can tell you one thing. My favorite fatality goes to Kiryu. Considering all the weapons this technological breakthrough has, I would expect perhaps an all-weapons or absolute zero fatality like in Godzilla Save the Earth. Did we get that? Of course not. Instead, we got this. Ouch! Look at that. Not only is this a sword being driven through your stomach or chest, it's a plasma sword. Imagine having this thing burn through your flesh and inside slowly as it lifts you up. How can this lift you up? Why doesn't the sword just slice through the monster? No, instead Kiryu has the audacity to use the sword to lift the monster and then quickly pull it out as the being crashes to the ground. Sword to the stomach! It's number 4.
Number 3.
Titanosaurus is such an awesome monster. His design, his powers, his moves, his movie. This aquatic monstrosity is one of the best Daikaijus ever made. Which is why in 2008, I bought a Wii just to play the superior version of Godzilla Unleashed to play as him, along with the other monsters. So when I looked into his finishing move, what I got was the 3rd best fatality in the game. As a tribute to his move in Terror of Mechagodzilla, Titanosaurus delivers an agonizing bite on his opponent's neck, ripping the throat in excruciating pain. Then he throws the now gasping and dying body across the screen, where it awaits a slow death. If you can think about a death like this without cringing, you deserve a medal.
Number 2.
In all honesty, it was hard to not put this at number 1. Megalon, the giant electric drilling bombing cockroach, didn't get a lot of movies, did he? Well, in the Godzilla games he certainly did have some useful features, drilling underground, getting healed by electricity, and spamming firebombs. However, in Godzilla Unleashed, what really caught my attention was this. Good God, was this something. Where do I begin with this? First of all, getting impaled on a titanium drill with spiked edges is agonizing enough, and that is just the start. Megalon uses his drill to send the monster spinning around like a wind-up toy and throws it to the ground. Imagine what is going on inside the monster as Megalon uses that drill. Every single intestine of the monster is being slowly ripped from the inner body and wrapping around the drill like spaghetti. That is the definition of agony. Bleeding out and going through that experience is an absolute nightmare. Just think if this one move alone had gore. This whole game would have been labeled M for mature.
Number 1.
So what is the best Godzilla Unleashed fatality? Well, it goes to these two. Yeah, I know, of course many of the fans' favorite monster is at number 1, but regardless of who does it, this is the most painful and awesome fatality in the game. Take a look. Okay, yeah, let's look at this in detail. First of all, take into account the force that is being used in that kick. Second, check out the extremely sharp and pointed nail on Godzilla's foot. Third, look at where it strikes. Into the most pain-sensitive area of any monster and human. Fourth, the kick to the enemy's ultimate weakness is so powerful it launches them into the air. It's that huge. Finally, the monster finishes it off with a solid jumping kick to its back as it writhes in pain on the cold, death-grasping earth. This is the only fatality that is so massive, so intense, so painful, and so amazing that the monster that delivers it doesn't even have the energy to stand up and make his victory roar. Whether you take into account creativity, pain, or just plain awesomeness, Godzilla 1954 and Godzilla 1990's Nutshot is the number 1 fatality in Godzilla Unleashed.
Who delivered a kick which could shatter bones into the crotch.